So the judge busted at certain Aquaman starlet trying to enter fake evidence into the courtroom. They shut him down for it because they were trying to enter it improperly, and it was fake. And the craziest thing about this is we didn't necessarily find out about this plot because of what the judge had to say. We found out about it because that certain Aquaman starlet's PR team ended up gifting this to TMZ, one of the shill media networks that covers for her, and even they had to admit that this stuff, it was beyond fake, while still trying to cover for her, of course. Oh, what a tangled web, right? So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And this is the evidence that she tried to put into the trial. After failing, she gave it to TMZ. If you look at it, two things immediately stick out, and they're going to be part of her tale. Number one, this should be one of the things I think you focus on first. You see the note in her hand. I shall return, XXX. She says that this was written by JD. It was written in the aftermath of what he did. Essentially, he was saying, I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish exactly what I did. Now, as far as what she's saying that he did too, well, let's just say that the evidence, it's supposedly written right across her face, and this would have been presented to the jury. But again, there is a huge issue in it. That issue, it relies on metadata. Now, since she gets busted by a little thing called metadata, I want to make sure everyone understands that term. When you take a picture of something, you have information that is embedded with said picture. It shows how that was taken, the settings on whatever device, the device itself. So if you take it with a camera or you take it with an iPhone, it's going to tell what iPhone, what type, if it's a 6, 7, or 8 or so on. Also, it's going to embed it with a location stamp, and it's going to show when. So it's going to have a date stamp, and it's going to have a time stamp as well. So typically I avoid going straight through an article, but this, it is so worth it. I mean, again, TMZ is a shill network for that certain Aquaman starlet. They've tried to cover for her for over 5 years now, and even they have to admit that it is wrong and then some. Of course, they're going to try to cover for her in the aftermath as well. But that certain Aquaman starlet details an alleged attack at the hands of JD, which she claims left her with a bloody lip, an injury her lawyers tried to prove with a photo, but were shot down by the judge because it wasn't submitted in time for the trial. And that's a half-truth, by the way, and then some. TMZ, though, they go on. They tell you, we have the photograph. You have to ask yourself, too, where exactly did that photograph come from again? Oh, yeah, it had to come from her and her team. And the photo, JD's press team says, doesn't line up with the timing of her allegations. And that's the big thing in there, too. They don't really put this front and center, but again, they're going to have to admit it in the aftermath. So her claim during testimony, it goes as follows. I was in one of those fights. I believe it's this one. It's the one in the downtown Eastern Columbia building, or the ECB. We call it Loft. And we're in the kitchen living room area when he backhands me. He wears a lot of rings. I remember kind of just feeling like my lip went into my teeth and it got a little bit of blood on the wall. Just that simple, a little bit of blood on the wall. So TMZ notes that they get their hands on the photograph she says that she took after this alleged incident, again, showing what appears to be a cut on her lip, along with a note that reads, I shall return, XXX, a note she says that JD left behind. Now this, it may seem like a small thing too, but this, it should have long-reaching consequences. If not in the courtroom, it should have long-reaching consequences into the court of public opinion. Why? Well, listen to the following. It's the same photograph that certain Aquaman starlet's legal team wanted to show to the jury. So they were going to give it to them. They were going to use it as absolute proof. detailing that this actually transpired, but JD's team, they end up objecting. They say that her lawyers never submitted the photograph during the discovery phase of the case. You're going to see why in just a second, too. I mean, even TMZ is going to have to admit to that. And the judge, they end up agreeing with JD's lawyers. So the photograph, it was never introduced into the case. And even if they would have gotten past that hurdle, they would have had some real problems later. Now JD's team tells TMZ, this is a bombshell here. The photograph, it was from 2012. That's right, not 2013, like they allege. 2012, a year before said incident they're describing supposedly took place. TMZ, they note that they've seen the metadata to the picture too, so it's not just JD's team that's saying this. They note, we've confirmed that. So they saw it, they confirmed that the metadata is indeed pointing out that it's 2012, and yet in the UK defamation case, her witness statement said that the first incident that she alleged, it took place in 2013, a year after that photograph had been taken. Now, if modern journalists actually cared about truth, this would be a bombshell revelation that should make them really look at their case, really look at their reporting, and maybe change some of the details in the aftermath. That being said, though, they don't do that at all. In fact, they make excuses. They double down for that certain Aquaman starlet, listing a source. I'm going to say, by the way, that this source, this is Eve Barlow talking. Eve Barlow, if you don't know who that is, that's the girlfriend of that certain Aquaman starlet. She's been doing damage control. She was trying to get people kicked out of the courtroom before she got herself kicked out and on. But she, a source close to that certain Aquaman starlet, says that she messed up her dates in the UK case. That's right. It's not proof of fakery. It's just proof that, she doesn't remember so well. Once she got her therapy records, they say, it showed the alleged accosting from JD. It didn't come up in 2013 like they swore in their statement. Nope. It started back all the way into early 2012, so they say that the timing of the photograph, it makes sense. Now, I always wonder when I see a statement like that, by the way, if they're going and they say, we've gotten these records here, they set the record straight for us, we found out that things, they happened well before we're testifying, don't they have a duty to say something about that? Do they need to take the stand, still going with what they put on record? Or, is that all a lie? And if that's all a lie, and they're telling you right here, they're admitting to that lie, shouldn't that have ramifications? Now, TMZ goes further than that, too. They say, of course, this photograph and this alleged incident, it's only one of countless examples that she's talked about. So, of course, even if you disprove this one, she has other claims, and those other claims, you got to listen and believe. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. Make sure you share this everywhere, too. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to end with that. Thank you. Check out the links in our description, by the way. We could always use your help. But check all of that out, and we will see you soon.